foghorn sounding behind us. That can only mean one thing, and that is it's time for football at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one, as it'll be the Tennessee Titans taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Joey Sly, the kicker, stands ready. And we are underway from Santa Clara. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. Commanding the offense will be Lamar Jackson, the electric quarterback out of the University of Louisville.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now, he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
Play action here on the first play from scrimmage. They want to see how the linebackers are going to react. Are they looking to stop the run? Or are they going to sit back in coverage? A really nice job there of going in attack mode early, and they pick up a quick first down.
Goes right back. Create much space down just beyond the 35.
I don't care what sport you're playing. Everyone likes to build up a little momentum, don't they? And look at this, back-to-back completions to the big target at tight end.
That one not as profitable as the other, but still a decent gain. A run up the middle with Irving. And the defense on him quickly there as they stop him at the 40 for a gain of just 2.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
2 yards still to go. Third down now. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. James Lynch drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up fourth down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. On fourth down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And that will skip out of bounds right at about the 18-yard line. So the Titans set to go to work for the first time. Leading him out is their rookie quarterback, the young man out of Miami.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
First and 10.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Titans get 14 yards there and move the chains as well.
First down.
Absolutely no trouble moving the ball on the ground on the first 2 plays from scrimmage.
Absolutely. You know what I really like? Same guy carrying the ball on both plays, and what drives me crazy is when a back has a nice run, he taps his helmet to go out of the game. I would want the ball again and again and again because you've established really nice momentum, and now you're seeing the field really well.
Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Now Ward. Here's a screen now for Pollard. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That's a first down pickup for Tennessee on a gain of 10.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside, but he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Throwing now, Ward. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. And he put enough leg into it, but it's well off to the right and no good. And this will remain a scoreless game.
I don't care who you are. 60 yards is a very ambitious attempt. Hard to make even in practice in the best of conditions. And now, worst of all, you give the other guys the ball to start their drive at midfield.
Well, they tried the field goal from just inside of 70 yards. It missed, and now this offense set up nicely at midfield. On 1st and 10, here's Irving. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. That good for 19 and a first down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Tries the left side and finds Olave. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there.
Out of bounds at the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5.
So from the 25, this is 2nd and 5. On the option right is Jackson. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. That false start costly. Moves him back to the 9 now, 1st and goal. Throwing is Jackson. Quick throw there is incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Jackson. His man in stride, complete. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Trey McBride, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Niners will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
We're still in the first quarter, but it's apparent they're going to have to come up with a different defensive game plan for him because right now he's kind of having his way against that defense and has added a touchdown to the list. How do you slow him down? They're going to have to mix up some coverages, maybe change who's guarding him.
Nick Folk for the point after. And the 49ers grab a 7-0 lead. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it was capped off by a touchdown reception from Trey McBride. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Titans coming back onto the field for their second drive. And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send out the field goal unit, and then to not even see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
First down, and it's Pollard again. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Cameron Hayward in on the tackle.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Pollard again. And same result. He's going to take this just to the line of scrimmage before running into a brick wall. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Because his primary job is defending against the pass, you don't often see a cornerback making tackles in the backfield. But he's playing run all the way here.
Tough spot here. 3rd down and 11. To throw, here's Ward. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get untracked in this one.
So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hekker to punt it away. And this will pin him back deep. That's going to kick out of bounds right at about the 7-yard line. And the 49ers settling in for their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Irving. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
9 yards to go.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Here's Jackson. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
Now here's Michael Dixon, as he'll be forced to kick this right into the teeth of the wind. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Now a fair catch taken just across midfield, maybe by a yard or two. A 40-yard punt, no return, and it'll be Titan football. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. From the shotgun, it's Ward. That's into the hands of Iomanner. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
And now they'll fake the jet sweep here and throw out play action. And the Niners get there and bring him down. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
Well, on that one, they go with a play fake, CD, but I don't think anybody really was fooled. All eyes were fixated on the quarterback, and they got him to the ground.
And to run this play successfully, you've got to make sure that everyone is doing their part. You actually have to sell this play. You've got to sell the run action. Otherwise, why do you stop at the running back? You just run straight for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Here's 3rd and 9. In motion goes the tight end. To throw is Ward. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is caught inside the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And the Titans, 1st down. 1st and goal, Tennessee.
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process. And really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
Pollard is in. Touchdown, Tennessee. Nice job of polishing off that drive, but all the credit there goes to that play prior.
Yeah, it certainly does, because after that big play, I think resistance almost felt futile at that point, didn't it? And the very next play, they come right back, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and put it in the end zone.
Joey Sly on for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes the return. Fighting his way through contact. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
The 49ers with the football here to begin the second quarter. One play has them to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Straight ahead, it's Irvin.
He finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards. Good about yourselves.
To throw is Jackson. A short one here, caught by McBride. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
Here's a handoff to Irvin. Escapes the defender. He's still on his feet. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Bucky Irving, 40 yards. And the 49ers have now taken the lead.
Bottom line, when you play a runner with these talents, you've got to be able to wrap up and get him on the ground. Or the first person who gets there, hold him up long enough for the next wave to get there and get him down. Otherwise, he will continue downfield and find pay dirt.
On for the extra point is Folk. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So that drive of 4 plays. And a long run there in the end to top it off. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Titans set and ready to go on offense. They trail a 1-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. They go play action with Ward. Open man down the field. That's Eilmaner. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
That's a pretty throw right there. That ball's in the air a long time, but it's right on the money on the right sideline. A really good route. Moving the defenders towards the middle of the field before breaking to the sideline. What a completion there. Big-time arm strength. Very nice route.
They'll go with Pollard here on 1st down. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Nice chunky yards on 1st down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on 2nd. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
2nd down and 6 now.
Ward. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
Here's Ward. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now, I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
So on now is Johnny Hekker to punt this one away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And now where will the side judge stop his clock? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line.
San Francisco's offense returns to the field. Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
First down. First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
Play action. It's Jackson. He's got this downfield to McBride. And he's brought down. It's another first down as this time they get an even 20. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 78 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
From the 28, it's second and 5. They'll run the draw with Irving. And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. First down.
And this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
There's a first and 10 at the 14-yard line. They'll stay on the ground with Irving. And he'll find his way down right around the 12. Xavier Woods, the free safety, up to make the tackle.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And he's got it. And across the track into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Chris Olave. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Niners go up by 2 touchdowns. Well, on that connection, it looked like they maybe had some pre-play communication. Maybe one of them noticed an area that was open in the defense to get the pass to.
When you put the time in, sometimes you have that great silent communication that you just noticed right there because the best quarterback-receiver combos in the NFL, they know how to make those adjustments at the line of scrimmage when they see something pre-play, and they got it done there.
Now Folk for the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it was Chris Olave who finished things off with a touchdown. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. DK from his end zone. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Titans offense now, they get set to head back out here. The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced a punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
And the Titans, first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple work picked in that situation, I would continue to go in that direction.
Throwing is Ward. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity, because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
2nd and 10. Ward now working out of the gun. Over the middle, he's going to find Iomanner. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
One of the selling points at the end route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line towards the receiver, and almost on a direct shot, able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
From the gun on 3rd down. Ward. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. The big fella. And he will bring this one back. It's a fumble return for a 49er touchdown. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling. On for the extra point is Folk. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. DK from his end zone. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. So the drive's going to start with Pollard. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Ward. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there. Those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
And he backs it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Here's Johnny Hekker now, as he's on to punt for Tennessee. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. The Niners offense and their running back Bucky Irving getting ready to go back to work. He's been a tough man to stop in this first half. He's putting up some big numbers already, and we have yet to reach halftime. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, and they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. Pass complete to Loveland. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
The time is called. Looks like a member of the Titans in some discomfort out there. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Here's 3rd and 3. Jackson. Past the 20. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. Well, they only needed a small gain on 3rd down. They end up getting over 30 yards.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line.
Well, he looked his way quite a bit in this first half, and with good reason. You can see it there. He is such a handful defensively, just too hard to keep him under wraps. He delivers a big play here for this offense.
A shotgun handoff here to Irvin. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Bucky Irving with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Niners continue to pull away here in this first half. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Extra point up and good by Folk. And a rout is on here in this first half. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. DK from his end zone. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
2nd and 10. Working out of the gun here. Ward to the right side and caught by Eilman. Now Tennessee going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
49ers have an extra defensive back on the field. A nickel set for 3rd down. Back to throw. Ward will try to pick it up himself. Now the Titans will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half.
As we both know, there was a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year. And part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
From the gun, Ward swinging this out for Pollard.
They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
2nd and 6.
From the gun, here's Ward. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
I tell you what, that's a veteran play from a guy in his first season in the NFL. A lot of rookies are trying to force something there. He thought better of it, and that was the right decision.
And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. The final shot before break. Ward. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And it's knocked away and incomplete. West, let's go east. That's where we find Scott Hanson with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hanson with you for a quick recap of the first half, which has been strongly one-sided. This is heading towards blowout territory unless they can come from behind and get themselves a victory. Let's find out what happens in the second half. Let's go back out to the commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Scotty, thank you as always. Well, likely two very different halftime speeches by these head coaches, that's for sure, as we get set for half number 2. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. Out come the Titans now. They'll have it first on offense to start the third. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. A little jet sweep to start the drive. Oh, this one, they need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
No gain on the play.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
At the 35-yard line.
Now Ward. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Airing it out, looking for Ridley. That's caught inside the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Calvin Ridley, 64 yards. And the Titans come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Obviously, the scoreboard right now is not the friend of this rookie quarterback, but, hey, a touchdown pass there maybe builds a little confidence.
Every rep is valuable when you're a rookie. Every time you step up and throw the football, there's a lesson to be learned. Yeah, he took advantage of a little bit of loose coverage there with the lead, but at the same time, got it done. It'll take a little bit of satisfaction away from that throw.
Slide for the PAT. It's good, and it's now 35-14.
Makes the score Niners.
Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it's Calvin Ridley who finishes it off with a touchdown reception. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
Well, you don't see that often. He just mishit it, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, I know sitting up here, and I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, and I know we're both thinking the same thing. Isn't it easy enough to keep it between the sidelines? Because unless you're intentionally doing it for some reason, well, that's a costly mishit, and now you put your team in a bad spot.
And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. 116 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. He's turning in a pretty impressive performance running the football and a big reason why they have this nice lead.
And in days gone by, we would clip this out and put it up on the refrigerator. When we clip out the box score, nowadays, not too many newspapers out there. Maybe you screenshot it online. All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam coming out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd and 6. They run out of the gun with Urban.
And for one of the few times here today, this one's not going to go anywhere. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
On 3rd down, they go with Urban.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Now here's Michael Dixon. And with a strong wind at his back, he's on to punt it away. And the punt will kick out of bounds, and it'll be spotted inside the 30-yard line.
The Titans getting set and ready to go here for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Brian Burns, the one to bring him down.
You know, it's not just all athleticism from defensive linemen. Let's give them a little credit for their football intelligence as well. Read and react by them, understood the play call, and stacked it up and stuffed the run.
2nd and 9 now. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And he will bring this one back. It's a fumble return for the 49er touchdown. So that is now 2 fumble return touchdowns. And you're talking about something that's going to drive a head coach crazy.
Without a doubt. But for the defensive guys, once you do it once, you create a frenzy. Everybody wants to get involved, and they got it done a second time.
Now Folk for the extra point. And that'll increase their lead to 28. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. DK from his end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field.
Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
From the 25, here's 2nd and 3. Throwing now, Ward. Slant pass, Pollard brings it in. That one a first down pickup of 8.
And certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
They'll run left with Pollard.
And he is going to lose lose yardage here. Give all that credit defensively to Khalil Mack. A great stop in the backfield.
And now you have to wonder, partner, at what point in time do they forget the running game? It's been a struggle so far in this one. I would think they'd have to start throwing it a little bit more.
Out of the gun, Ward. Now he's going to step up and run. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. It'll be a gain of 9. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
The defense did its job of taking away a quick throw, but that's only half the battle because they've got to get to him before he can make a run for it. A little bit late containing him there, so he makes a nice gain out of a play that looked like it was in trouble.
He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he will have a Titans first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously, for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard, trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful. He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's a second down and 6. Pollard will take it up the gut. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line.
He was brought down at the 49.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Looking to throw. Moore. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. Ball had his hands on it. Couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
Here's Johnny Hekker now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And did he put that on a dime? He did. Wow. Out of bounds at the 1-yard line. The 49ers offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And as you take a look at the numbers, you have to imagine he was the topic of the halftime talk for this defense. We've got to find a way to slow him down. That's probably what they're his work so far. And he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
Throwing is Jackson. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. 3rd down and 9. It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Now Jackson back into his end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Oh, nice defensive effort there, providing the hit as the ball got to the receiver, separates him from the catch, and normally he's a sure-handed target.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for San Francisco. And he's able to get it out of there. DK to return. That's a 49-yard punt, 8 though on the return. And the Titans are going to start this drive in great field position as they take over 1st and 10. To throw, here's Ward. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Jalen Carter busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front seven. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. From the shotgun, it's Ward. That's complete to DK.
Ward's pass, complete to Chigray DK. It's a gain of a yard. And this is 3rd down.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Moore. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Here's Johnny Hacker now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
He hasn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. From the 31, here comes 2nd and a yard. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. On the handoff, this is Irvin. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
2nd and 1, if people want to run the football, this is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Once again, it's Irvin. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
On the ground, it's Irvin. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. Well, the offense has had a big day. He's been great running the football, but I don't think anybody liked that last result.
No, they didn't like the last result at all, but they have to look at it in total, don't they? They've had a big day running the football. You take an occasional loss or an occasional bad play along the way, but all in all, they have to like what they've done.
And he is going to have a 49ers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 3 quarters have come and gone. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it could be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Multiple players getting home for the 1-yard sack. Oh, free safety blitz. That can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
The Niners on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is going to be 3rd and 13. That's complete. It's Neighbors. And to the 46 he goes and no further, so he is well short of the first down marker.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Going to run again here with Pollard. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. And it's 2nd down.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them. And boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Here's a 2nd and 8. To throw is Ward. Here's a screen now for Pollard. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee.
For as many sacks as this defense has, you can understand their willingness to try and get upfield and get another. So what a really smart play call here to use their aggression against them, go with the screen, and they're able to get the first down.
And here's a give to Spears. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They moved it a combined 33 yards.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
So the ball moves from their own 41 to the other 41 here for 1st and 10. They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Looking to throw. Ward. Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. And a
the 49ers are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. That time defensively looked like they showed quite a bit of pressure but backed off, and it proved fruitful. They get the pick.
He went through all of his rules about getting rid of the ball quickly because he read blitz. He saw all those people stacked at the line of scrimmage, and then they fooled him by dropping into coverage. Now he's ready to get rid of the ball fast, but guess what? Too many defenders out there. Exactly as you described, an interception.
Good starting field position for the 49ers as they have it 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Now a first carry for their fullback. And unable to get downhill there, so he'll take this up to about the 37. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Now that's the defense that they were looking for, being able to get extra bodies to the point of attack to deal with the big guy carrying the ball. You really don't want to be in a position where it's a one-on-one tackle with him.
A run up the middle with Irvin. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one by the line of scrimmage.
2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket, but it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable from the moment we began this game, and they're not holding back. They're still throwing the football here in the 4th.
They certainly are, and let me tell you something. If you're But in today's football, you just go ahead and savor it. Watch a team execute at a high level. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. But sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
To throw is Jackson. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
But both teams practice this situation, and this time the guys on offense won, and in a very nice way. What a run from that position on their own goal line.
Gave them some good breathing room.
I wonder now, do you still stack the line of scrimmage, or do you play normal defense? They may have backed them off with that run.
Pollard gets it off the option. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. 74 yards on the ground here for Pollard. This is a 1st down.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
1st down, and it's Pollard again. Slipped 1 tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool him a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool him on that play.
Hand off to Spears. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
I don't think anyone thought we'd see a run facing second and that long, and that element of surprise, I think, helped make that play so successful. Nice effort on that carry, and it took what seemed like second and impossible, now has him within throwing range of a first down.
Now Ward from the gun on third down. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
On first and 10, it's Spears. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
At the 28-yard line.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The 49ers get the win here at home as we say so long from Santa Clara.